course they aren't. What was she expecting? Who was she expecting? She gets up crisply and walks to the desk to pay, her stomach still roiling queasily from the shock of thinking she was being watched. Her back aches and her bottom is stiff from the hours of sitting. Susie seems to materialise from nowhere and, taking care not to damage her newly faked nails, Melissa rummages for her purse and then opens the small wooden box that has been discreetly placed in front of her, containing the bill. Melissa knew that this morning wouldn't come cheap, but still, the cost of hair extensions and styling, manicure, pedicure, and eyebrow threading, at almost £600, gives her a thrill of transgressive pleasure. She hopes Mark will choke on his coffee as she pushes her credit card across the counter to Susie and looks for a 20 to leave as a tip. If he's going to behave like one of those husbands, then she will be one of those wives. Outside, on the high street, it feels like the contrast button on an old television has been turned up too high. Everything is too bright, nauseatingly colourful. Melissa feels the sharp pinch of a headache beginning in her forehead. She finds her sunglasses and pushes them onto her face, a little clumsily, eyes greedy for the shade. A branch of Boots is just over the road, and Melissa decides to buy some water and paracetamol before setting off home. Maybe she can head this thing off at the pass so she can enjoy the party later. The caterers will be almost finished now, and all that needs to be done is to oversee the Ocado delivery, which is bringing the majority of the booze. It's a bit late, but they let her down yesterday, citing some sort of freezer catastrophe. She hopes the champagne will have enough time to chill for this evening. It is as she is crossing over to Boots that Melissa feels the crawling sensation again, like fingertips skittering across her skin. She is certain now that it isn't in her head. She read once that it's something to do with peripheral vision. Someone is definitely watching her. Melissa's heart begins to thud uncomfortably as she whips around in a full circle, eyes narrowed behind her dark lenses. Someone has just been swallowed up by the doors of Superdrug, but she didn't see them clearly. The high street is busy, full of normal people, gazing into phone screens, yanking irritable children along, or, in the case of the few old people dotted about, ambling painstakingly with shoppers or small decrepit dogs. No one is staring at Melissa. Goosebumps scatter across her arms, and she shivers, even though the air is close and heavy. A car alarm shrieks nearby, and Melissa flinches. The air feels soupy, with traffic fumes mingling with the cigarette smoke wafting from a doorway, where a young woman is head bent over her mobile, apparently having a furious conversation at low volume. At the far end of the high street, near the library and fire station, Melissa can see a figure who looks familiar. It takes a minute to realise it's her next-door neighbour, Hester. She is a fussy, annoying little woman who was constantly in Melissa's face when she first moved into the street. Hester was far too interested in how Melissa was bringing up Tilly, and although she had occasionally helped with babysitting, she was more trouble than she was worth. Melissa managed to slip free of her attention, and the last contact they'd had was earlier this year. Melissa couldn't remember the details because it happened bang in the middle of the Sam thing, something to do with recycling or parking. Melissa is in no mood to see Hester just now. She has enough to worry about. Even though it's only a 10-minute walk home from here, she hurries over to the taxi rank and climbs into the first available car, catching the appreciative look tossed her way by the driver. As she leans forward to give the address, she feels warmed by the attention and thinks about what he sees. A good-looking, well-groomed woman of means, someone he could only ever admire from a distance. And if he'd known her back then, she doubts he would have allowed her in his taxi. She is unrecognizable now.